Hey there, Collar here with Class, and we're going to be doing Bisu versus Go.go. There is Bisu on the left, the hair toss, the Botox toss, and he is facing off against Go.go, whose glasses to face ratio is huge. Basically, he has a superior facial protection from those large glasses, and that might help him against Bisu's flying hair gel in this game. This is supposed to be a great game, though. Bisu, obviously, nothing needs to be said about him. He is one of the best players out there. Although in the last, was it MSL, he was, OSL rather, he was surprisingly beaten by Fantasy before able to go into the finals. I'm sure he's still stinging after that, but we're going to see what happens in this series here, or in this game. Bisu versus Go.go, it's going to be played, it looks like, on Return of the King, which is returning this season to the OSL.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, Bisu's invulnerability shield, the Iron Curtain, seems to be dropping. You know, rumors of a Bisu slump are starting to circulate, considering the fact that he's lost a few games recently to players he would have been expected to normally beat, such as, I won't get into it because I don't want to spoil any good games for you guys, but there's some games out there that Bisu has lost unexpectedly, which he would have been expected to triumph in beforehand. And it looks like we've got Go.go at the top left-hand corner at the 11 o'clock position, and Bisu at the top right at the 1 o'clock position, Terran versus Protoss. But again, I would really expect Bisu to come out on top and triumph here against Go.go, even if Go.go does give him a bit of a fight. But yeah, I mean, StarCraft is such a game of confidence. We saw how when Bisu broke Saviour's confidence all those seasons ago, Savior never really recovered from that. Bisu seems to have done a little bit better after Flash had surprised him with those kind of 2 cheese rushes and kind of ended his era of dominance. Bisu seems to have come back and done well in StarD subsequently, and he's been reasonably consistent and been a strong player for SK Team 1 as well in the pro leagues. So I expect him to continue to do well, but it'll be interesting to see if we're potentially at the start of a possible Bisu slump. Maybe the motivation is going, the confidence isn't as high, who knows. But this should be a good game of StarCraft.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'd say Bisu, I'd say he's definitely, you know, in contention for best player out there still. Despite a couple of losses, I think he's still has a very good record recently. I think he's like 7 out of 10 or something for his last 10. Just taking a look at the previous game, so I wouldn't count him out. And it's always a mistake to count Bisu out because he's very consistent, kind of like Stork, but he's just a little more stylish than Stork. Bisu, of course, is definitely wanting to get, you know, later on get to the end stages of this OSL. He definitely wants to start winning some more Star Leagues, and we're going to see if he can do it here. Go.go has really not pushed too far in his single career, single Star League career, I guess, and you know, we'll see if he can do anything here. He plays for Height Sparkies during the day, and he's a pretty good TVT player, I'd say. Not sure about TVP. Bisu's gonna have a big advantage on this map, I think, because of, well, actually, no, this map is Return of the King. No, actually, I'm sorry, Go.go's gonna have a map advantage here, and it's gonna be pretty significant. Statistically, in the past, it has been. It is a good map for drops, and I think Vulture drops are a common thing on this map. Also, just siege pushes are very strong because, as you see, the natural expansion's on low ground, and there's a ramp right next to it, which means siege tanks are gonna be very good. But we'll see here what Go.go does. If he's going to play standard, I feel like that would be a mistake because Bisu could probably beat him easily in a long game.
Yeah, I think with something with a player like Bisu is that when they lose, it's kind of unexpected, and you know, takes 2 or 3 losses in a couple of weeks, and people start calling slump. But I definitely agree with you that you shouldn't count him out. But I think this game is a good indicator where you would expect him to win comfortably, and if he loses this, then questions definitely will be raised among his fans and especially amongst his critics, although I'm not sure how many of them there are around. Bisu getting that Zealot around to scout, but Go.go with a good block on his ramp, good block build, got the and it looked like he managed to get his SCV into Bisu's main there because I think the Dragoon just killed it. So Go.go definitely with more scouting information to start off with than Bisu's, and that's not a place where Bisu likes to be. And Go.go now going for the fast expand, building that command center behind that block, and that's just going to be something that's going to be irritating Bisu, although the builds might still play in Bisu's favor because Bisu's got that Citadel of Iron building up, and we could potentially be seeing a DT drop or something of that ilk from Bisu, and if he does go for that, he's going to be in the perfect position to counter sort of this build of Go.go's if he does manage to catch Go.go off guard. So it'll be interesting to see if Bisu does go for some sort of a DT drop. We have seen him do something like that in the past. We're seeing the Templar archives definitely go up for Bisu, so we might be seeing DTs come out for Go.go for Bisu, and Go.go will have a tough time defending against this once he fast expands.
I think so. Bisu, though, I think he might not. I'm not sure if he's going for a drop. He might just go for straight up DTs. Is that a possibility? Did you see a robotics facility?
No, I don't think he's necessarily going for a drop. I initially thought that was a possibility, but I haven't seen the robotics facility. But yeah, and he doesn't. To be honest, he doesn't really need to drop because, especially because Go.go looks like he's fast expanding. So so Bisu can get into that natural expo at the very least. And I still haven't seen an engineering bay or anything from Go.go. And Bisu's got the 2 gateways up, he's got the Templar archives up, so Go.go is going to be in a world of trouble here, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to counter this or to spawn it out. He's getting that SCV in there, but Bisu's got those Dragoons perfectly positioned, and Go.go's got to have an idea that Bisu probably has maybe a couple of gateways out, although there are only 3 Dragoons there, so Go.go's still very much in the dark about Bisu's build from this point on. He hasn't even been to see if Bisu has an expansion round. Go.go has got his engineering bay up, so it's going to come down. It's going to be very, very close, and he's got siege mode with those tanks, so it's going to be very, very close as to whether or not he spots those DTs coming out and whether he gets those engineering bay, those turrets up in time at his natural expo. But certainly I don't think he's anticipating anything. Bisu's still just waiting on those DTs to pop out, and this is going to be close. It's going to be right down to the millisecond in terms of timings, and those DTs are now heading over. 2 DTs heading over. Go.go building that turret at the front door, but the problem is Go.go doesn't have anything to support those siege tanks. Bisu not moving those Dragoons out. Those Dragoon support might be the difference between a win and a loss for Bisu. But those DTs coming into play, and this is going to be right. And the turret is up. The turret is up for Go.go, and the DT takes a splash hit from the siege tank, and Bisu's forced to retreat, and that immediately puts Bisu at a disadvantage, and Go.go now is aware, so Bisu's lost the element of surprise, and Go.go is now in a strong position in terms of his economy. Definitely looks like Go.go has a slight advantage here, Cholera.
Oh, absolutely. I'm surprised that Bisu actually went straight up DT, ground DTs. Now he is getting a robotics facility. It's a pretty rare build nowadays to see someone go just straight up 2-gate DTs against anybody. And Bisu is actually known pretty famously for losing with DTs in important situations, basically. Sometimes he just has this like brain fart. He's like, I'm going to build DTs no matter what happens. And he wants to. And sometimes, most of the times, he doesn't do too well with them. Looks like, yeah, Type B is doing everything possible there to prevent Bisu from getting into his base, and he's doing a great job of it. You know, the thing is, drops give you so much more of that mobility advantage, and had he had drops, I think it would have been a very different situation. It doesn't really slow down your DT rush that much to have that drop. What it does is it really makes it count. Like, you have to make your gambit count, because you won't have that much resources. Oh my god! Oh my god, we're going to be seeing a crazy tech switch here. This is going to be an M&M switch for Go.go. So Go.go is going to be going for something way unorthodox here. This is a crazy timing push, and he's basically relying on Bisu not having scouting information because he's got all those turrets around. Bisu's not going to be able to scout it, and he's probably expecting Bisu to go probably heavy on Dragoons here just to prevent a standard tank vulture push, but instead it's going to be M&M. This is why he's putting down the 4 racks right now. The academy's done, and this is a E-hand timing kind of push here. E-hand timing in Korean basically means that you got to make it count. Like, if your timing works out, you can win the game. If your attack fails, and because of you can't make it work in a given time, then you're bound to lose. And M&M is exactly one of those builds.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to necessarily lose, although he is committing a lot of resources to it because he does have the economic advantage starting out. Bisu's putting his expansion down way later than Go.go did, and because of that failed DT attack, but he could potentially be throwing away that advantage he has and leveling the game off. But it's going to be hilariously entertaining. Bisu not coming in with that Observer. There are 4 medics out already. If that Observer spots those medics, that's going to be it for Go.go. Go.go's attack, and Bisu, obviously Go.go's counting on the fact that Bisu is not going to have Reavers, and this is going to come down to turret placement. Are those turrets placed well enough to stop that Observer sneaking past? And it looks like they just might be. The Observer gets warded off. Has he seen it? We're looking at Bisu's first-person view mode. Has he seen the medics? Has he? I don't know. I don't think he has. I don't think he's seen the medics. Bisu is going to be cut off. Right, exactly, and he doesn't even have high Templars. I mean, you know he's not going to have Reavers, but he might have potentially had high Templars, but he's not, and the only way he's going to see those Medic and Marines, well, he does have a DT advanced quite, and now he's going to come in with the 2 Absorbers. I think he's going to sacrifice one of those Absorbers because he's sniffing something here. Go.go now pushing out with the Siege Tanks, and it might be too late for Bisu, because even if he does start building high Templar now, I think he's got it, he's got one of his Absorbers through. I think he's lost one of the Absorbers, or has he not? And now the Medic and Marines are coming out. Bisu has surely seen this now. He's only got Dragoons. He's got 6 Dragoons against 6 tanks and a group of Medic and Marines. A full group, probably 2 full control groups of Medic and Marines, and Bisu doesn't have anything to defend. He's going to try and do some sort of pincer defense, but he's not going to have the high Templar out in time. He's not going to have the energy out in time. Go.go's heading straight for his base. Bisu trying to delay him, and brilliant by Bisu using the lone hero DT commando style to snipe a couple of. He's got 4 kills, sniped a few Marines on the way, whittling down Go.go's forces, reinforcements before Go.go can get there. But Go.go is now at Bisu's front door. Bisu trying to just buy himself time and delay Go.go as much as possible, now sending the Zealots in with the Dragoons as well. This tank's going to siege mode, massive shot hitting the Dragoons, but the Dragoons get out in time. He's lost most of his Marines there. He's only got a small group of about 4 Marines in amongst those medics, and Bisu sending in more Dark Templar. Bisu with brilliant defending. Go.go though still has that massive groups of siege tanks, and Go.go has a massive group of siege tanks. Bisu hasn't been able to do much, but he's lost most of his Dragoons. He's still got about 5 Dragoons alive, but I think Bisu's done a great job of holding this defense, and Go.go has been able to use those medic Marines to push forward those tanks, but I'm not sure if he would have been perhaps slightly more effective with the vultures in play. Now he's using those tanks to kind of hold, and meanwhile Bisu has got a shuttle out as well. The question really is high Templar. That's what he really needs to stop this attack with energy, but Go.go is now at Bisu's National Expo, and I'm not sure if Bisu's going to be able to do anything, but Go.go is now shelling Bisu's National Expo, and this is going to be GG right here. Go.go is going to take this game. Bisu forced to pull the probes out, and it looks like Go.go's gambit is in fact going to pay off for him.
Wow, this is such a rare gambit, and usually, unfortunately, oh, Go.go gonna beat BM here, bad-mannered Go.go, as you can see, putting the command center down at the end, and don't give me any of, there was a strategic need for that. No, there was no strategic need for that. That was Go.go's infamous BM. He did that to Best, by the way. There was this spat of back and forth, so I bet that's revenge. You know, another slight, a slap in the face, a thumbing of the nose. Oh, he thinks he's so cool. Look at him. He's got the cock on the back, and he's got the huge glasses on the face, and he's got a victory over Bisu. What can I say? Yeah, he's got the cock on the back. Bisu stunned because he's been defeated again in just a couple of days by someone who would be considered, you know, unlikely, to say the least, to beat him, and also with a strange build. He's been beaten again with an odd build, an oddball, goofball, M&M build against a Protoss, and Go.go, wow, does he look proud of himself.
Well, in fairness, Bisu started the oddball nest by going for the straight DT ground rush. So he went for kind of the unorthodox build to begin with, so you can't really blame Go.go for doing similar, but it was great adaptation by Go.go, and it was definitely quite stylish. I'm not sure I agree with the command center put down at the end, and you can see that Bisu is not impressed with it either, but, you know, again, I wonder if the map really got into Bisu's head there, if he felt that the statistics on the map didn't favor Protoss and it wasn't a Protoss-friendly map, and that's why he had to do something different. I think Bisu was good enough to beat a player like Go.go in a standard game, even with the map disadvantage. I think Bisu was good enough to do that. I don't think he needed to go for the DTs, and I'm not sure even if a shuttle would have done the trick, because Go.go did get those turrets up quite quickly, so I'm not sure if even a drop would have done the trick, and I think the few seconds of delay that it would have meant, even though it's not huge as you pointed out, I think it would have been enough for Go.go to have his defenses in place, although he could have used a shuttle to stretch Go.go's ground units, as opposed to Go.go just needing to defend 1 point from where the DTs were trying to get in. Anyway, I think the talking point of that match is not going to be, oh, looks like Bisu gets a hug from Go.go, they're out, and a shake. Yeah, I think Bisu probably felt like punching him in the nose there and breaking his glasses. He's like, dude, I don't want your fake hug and handshake after you just dissed me so openly in front of the crowd. But Go.go perhaps feeling a little bit contrite after his actions. Who knows? Maybe he gave an apology to Bisu. Maybe it was just the exuberance of youth and the excitement of beating a player of Bisu's reputation and caliber.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the top, everyone's gonna be aiming for you, and also, it's pretty hard to, you know, to really diss Bisu and expect to get away with it, because, you know, he probably will come back and school you several times before you ever get a chance to beat him again, and you'll just look like an ass afterward. I don't know if you remember Magma from the last MSL, but he basically said that he was going to school everybody, and he listed a bunch of people who he called acorns, including Stork, Bisu, and, you know, players who are a lot better than him, and he lost 2-0 when he, you know, got into the round of 32, and that was it. 0-2 loss, and he also then retired from pro gaming. So there's a lesson there of being BM in StarCraft. So he's
It
no
kind of
longer playing
reminds
for
me
Eastro.
of it kind of reminds me of people who are like who go on to X Factor and American Idol simply just to make fools out of themselves, just to get attention and get noticed. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that. You know you're
A
never
little
going to be
bit.
good enough to actually win anything, but you can at least get yourself some attention by acting like a fool. And I think I'm sure there are people like that in StarCraft.
Well, I don't remember if you remember, but about a year and a half ago, Best and Go.go were at each other's throats, and of course, Best is on SKT1. So I think that just this at the end was just a little continuation of that rivalry. Basically, whenever Best beat somebody on SKT1, he would put Nexuses up because it was in revenge to Go.go putting up command centers inside of his base, and who knows, it was stupid little BS like that. But it certainly makes the sport overall amusing to have a couple of characters like this. Anyway, that was a good game, though, I gotta say. Fun rush at the end. You up for the last set? It's going to be Quanro versus Kanata.
Cholera.
Dignity.
Okay.